as my witness, right? And to get started, Judge, I would like you to state for the public record, one, who you swear your oath to, right? And where you derive your authority from.
Here.
Ryan, this is the local court in session. Sorry, Mr. Dawson, this is the local court in session. This is an application brought before this court for determination by this court. I'm an acting judge of this local court and authorised to make a determination of proceedings brought before it, and I intend to do so now.
Yes, you also need to answer my question and actually
Thank you, Mr. Dawson.
tell the public where you derive your authority from and who you swear your oath to.
A corporation.
Okay, Mr. Dawson, if you just take a seat now, please, and I'll proceed with my determination.
No, not until you tell the people of the public where you
can you hear us?
swear your oath to.
Ms. Howard, I'm sorry. Okay, you're appearing for the applicant in these proceedings. I'm in a position to proceed and hand down my decision.
No, you're not.
If you have a seat,
You're not in the position to proceed in this at all.
if there's anything that you wish to take issue with following my determination, there are appeal processes.
No,
you can go through.
See, you don't actually have the authority now. See that coat of arms that sits behind you? You do not represent that.
True. Fact.
Are you finished?
And I have the facts. And I have the proof. I have the evidence. And I wish to table it for the public record.
Mr. Dawson, this court made orders on the 30th of August that both you and the...
This court is fraudulent.
File and serve all evidence on which you intend to rely by 12 noon on the... 8th
In my affidavit, it states, I will table my evidence on the day of court, which is my God-given right.
I'll deal with the matter, and if you just have a seat now.
No, you're not dealing with the matter because you don't have the authority to deal with the matter.
Mr. Dawson, if you don't remain quiet now...
Well, last time you said they couldn't hear me. See, I don't stand under your authority.
Mr. Dawson, if you're going to talk across, mate...
Well, you need to answer the questions and tell the public record who you derive your authority from and who you represent
If you have a seat...
and who you swear your oath to.
If you, Mr. Dawson, have a seat, please, it'll become clear to you, okay?
No, not at all. Because I have the actual evidence and facts that you're corrupt and you do not represent the Australian people.
Well, any more allegations like that, Mr. Dawson, I'll have you removed from the court and as being a person...
See, because there's three laws. God's law, maritime law, and contract law. I stand under God's law.
Mr. Dawson, you're going to sit down, please, and remain quiet while I deliver...
Are you going to let the public know who you derive your authority from and who you swear your oath to?
I'm going to ask you one more time, Mr. Dawson, are you going to sit down, please, and just remain quiet while I hand out my decision? And you, as I said, if...
What do you got to hide?
If you would just please sit down, let me hand out my decision on this matter. And
No, because I don't accept
whatever
it.
steps you wish to take.
Because you are fraudulent. You have no authority.
Well, Mr. Dawson, if you keep interrupting like this and not enabling the court to do its business, I'll have to have...
You're a fraudulent, corrupt
Institution.
institution of the fake Australian government.
Mr. Dawson, please.
And I have all the stuff here. And I wish to table it for the public record.
This is a tenancy application. I don't proceed with my level. This is a tenancy application under Section 131 of the Business Tenancy Fair Dealings Act of 2003. It seeks relief by the applicant by way of a warrant of possession in respect of the tenancy of the land, namely 17A Brown Street, Chiconaby, in the Northern Territory of Australia, land which is part of Lot 1318, Town of Alice Springs. The applicant,
Which is all fraudulent.
The applicant, Graham, nominates MT Proprietary Limited as trustee for the Graham Family Trust. Seeks an order from the respondents to pay all outstanding amounts of rents due to the applicant and costs incurred which result in the applicant returning the premises to good repair, order and condition in all respects. And the applicant further seeks from the respondents the applicant's costs of their proceedings. The application in Form 30A under the legislation then sets out the facts, matters and circumstances supporting the application.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't. It does not supply any facts or evidence.
In numerical paragraphs numbered 1 to 8 in the applicant's...
Because the lease is fraudulent, like your court.
Mr. Dawson, I'm not going to continue to remind you to show
Well,
respect to the
you
court.
have not told the public who you swear your oath to and where you derive your authority from.
Last chance, Mr. Dawson, otherwise I'm going to have security have you removed.
What? Just like the coppers, private security guards? And I know.
The application is supported by an affidavit of evidence promised by Martin Gregory Thomas Kelly, solicitor, and an authorised opponent of the applicant company as trustee for the Graham Family Trust. Evidence attested to within his affidavit include details of the following particulars pleaded in the proceedings. Firstly, the parties and the premises particulars, and next there's a copy of the lease, the subject of this application.
That is fraudulent.
The lease term of 3 years and the lease rent payable by monthly advance payments under the lease contract.
All this needs to be stated for the record. You are going against this in a fraudulent manner. You will not accept, you will not give the public where you derive your authority from, because you can't.
They're not Commonwealth Code
Because
of Arms.
you're probably a Freemason.
They're not Commonwealth Code of
The
Arms either.
applicant affidavit particularizes the unpaid monthly rental installments with a balance of $10,067.16 as at the date of swearing of the first affidavit, being the 15th of July 2022.
Well, considering the Constitution of 1901 is our only legal and legitimate constitution, the constitution you are running under is fraudulent and made by a corporation known as Australia. Not by the Australian people, for the Australian people.
Which is the Commonwealth.
Which is the Commonwealth. Which is the people.
On Terra Australis.
The land title is not what it states.
The details of the security deposit held by the applicant's agent is detailed in the affidavit of Mr. Kelly.
You're ignorant and fraudulent.
Lawlessness in action.
And that deposit amounts to $3,251.
Lawlessness in action.
A copy of a notice of default issued by the applicant's property agent to the respondent dated the 11th of May 2022 is further annexed. Paragraph 12 pleads that the subject is annexed to Mr. Kelly's affidavit authorises the issue of a notice to quit by email, that is by email mode of communication or electronic mode, under clause 8 of the lease terms. I'm satisfied a notice to quit was served on the respondents by email on the 26th of June 2022. I refer to the next show MGTK6 and MGTK7.
Good.
To quit.
Here you go.
Via
All public record. Right here. See this? This states that coat of arms, you are sitting under, do not have the authority, because I tell you where it's registered to. And it's not to the Australian government, for a start.
Will you please desist from shouting at this court and remove yourself from the
Not until you look at the fucking evidence evidence and see that you are fraudulent.
I'm going to adjourn the court.
You're not allowed to record in the courtroom.
There is no order because you're corrupt.
We're not under the law.
Please note the judge has left the ship.
Yep. Bail. What is it?
Judge has left the ship.
Bail overboard.
Therefore, we have the jurisdiction.
I have the right.
The judge has left the court. He has bailed ship.
Kitty, dress.
The judge has bailed ship.
Please leave the courtroom.
Excuse you.
Leave the courtroom under.
He has to leave his evidence.
No.
He has to leave his evidence.
It's not.
The judge has left the ship.
No. I'm just telling you, so you know that they do not sit under this code of law. It is legally owned by people again.
She's calling.
You might need to know that.
Corrupt fucking assholes.
Well, the judge has left the ship.
Yeah, he's bailed.
The case has been closed. The judge has left the ship. Case has been closed. This is where Boxy can state his terms and conditions, because the judge has left the ship. The ship has been abandoned. The judge has left the ship.
And I can prove that to you as well.
The judge has left the ship.
Don't ever
Therefore,
put a hand on me. Don't touch me. Let's go.
we're going. We're
I have the
going.
right. Let's go.
We're going, mate. We're
I
going.
am going to leave. I am going. Back off. Let's go. Private security guard, so go away. And I have the proof of that. If you really want to know.
You can pull it out.
You can't record that in. You can't use that in the courtroom.
We're going.
Yes, you can. Allowed to record,
We're allowed to.
allowed to do anything. It's my right.
And who are you? Are you a security guard, are you? Don't touch me.
Let's go.
Do not force. The judge has left the ship. He left during court order,
Overboard.
which means that by law, the case is closed. He could not answer who he was standing under
And where his authority comes from.
and where his authority comes from.
Hasn't. Won't.
And he bailed and he left the fucking ship.
Left the ship.
Left the ship.
Corruption for you.
Alice Springs Town Council, hey? Working with the community.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. Well, you got to walk out and not answer.